James for three.
Alexis attacking.
Puso at Lakas, Sports sa Pinas. Kasama sina Coach Jojo at Coach Janet Villa.
Isang mapagpalang Sabado sa inyo mga teammates. Ito po si Coach Jojo Villa ng Fellowship of Christian Athletes. At ito ang programang Puso at Lakas Sports sa Pinas sa 702 DZAS FEBC Radio TV. Welcome sa mga teammates natin na nakikinig sa atin via DWAY 104.3 FM K-Radio sa Bicol, sa DXFE 1197 The Good News Radio sa Davao Region, sa DZRK 106.3 FM Radyo Kapit Bisig sa Palawan, sa DXAS 1116 Your Community Radio sa Zamboanga. Tayo rin po ay napapakinggan via online streaming natin sa Facebook page sa Puso at Lakas Sports sa Pinas, sa FEBC 702 DZAS o kaya sa febc.ph. Greetings po sa madalas sa atin makinig, si Hugh Forcina, Bernardino, Ben and Maricar Loriaga, Julita Adamos, Romulo Bolgado, Jem San Pedro Laureta, Andres Mendoza, Rosemary Garmino, Kyle Joshua Chan, si Nora Cancela, Faustina Habla, Coach Glendino Gopez, Jocelyn Panagiton, Lordan Molyon, Anita Tejada Colon, Tess Bagtas Dehan, si Aaron Ray Gacho, Belsi Soreta at si Selly Anuran. Sa pagbabalik ng ating Puso at Lakas, ang ating guest has crossover from different teams. From basketball sa high school, to college, to pro, napunta sa national team ng New Zealand, basketball team, and siya ngayon ay isang nag-organize at tumutulong sa isang basketball club sa New Zealand. Sa pagbabalik ng Puso at Lakas.
Time out muna kapatid. Magbabalik ang Puso at Lakas, Sports sa Pinas.
Mga kaagapay, may bagong GCash QR code ang FEBC Philippines para mas mapadali at mapabilis ang pagpapadala ng donations gamit ang GCash. Kung hindi pa po kayo pamilyar sa GCash, ito po ay isang mobile app na pwede ninyong gamitin para magbayad ng bills, bumili ng load at magpadala ng pera. At ngayon, mas madali na ring makakapag-donate gamit ang bagong GCash QR code ng FEBC Philippines. Ang bagong QR code ay matatagpuan sa ating website, febc.ph, pati na rin sa official social media pages ng FEBC Philippines. Kung nais ninyong mag-donate gamit ang GCash, siguraduhin isave at iscan ang ating bagong QR code. Ito ay isang magandang paraan upang makibahagi sa ating misyon para mas marami pang maabot ng mensahe ng pag-ibig ni Hesukristo. Maraming salamat po at pagpalain kayo ng Panginoon.
Ito ang 702 DZAS.
702 DZAS.
Agapay ng Sambayanan. Kasapi sa KBP, kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas.
Puso at Lakas, Sports sa Pinas. Pusong kampiyon. Siya na nga, luha at galak. Mga sikreto ng marugdog na ensayo at pagtatagumpay sa larangan ng sports. Pusong kampiyon.
Mga kaagapay, our guest is a good friend of mine. We were together sa coaching staff ng UP men's basketball team during 2013 up to 14. And he is right now the coach of itong Pinoy Mavs Basketball Club sa New Zealand and also the Phil Nation New Zealand Basketball Organization. And ang ganda rin ng kanyang yung kanyang experience and yung kanyang journey being a trainer and then equipped to become trainer X coach, naging coach, no, na minultiply ni God, no, yung kanyang gifts and talent. Let's all welcome Coach Manu Hawk. Hi, Coach Manu.
Hi, Coach Jojo, and thank you for having me here. And good evening sa lahat ng viewers ng Lakas at Puso. Really excited to be able to have this session again with you. Medyo matagal-tagal na yung huli. So it's always refreshing to
pre-pandemic,
really,
no?
Yeah. Oo nga, Coach. Matagal na.
At saka, Coach Manu, if I remember, wala ka pa yata sa nun. Wala ka pa sa New Zealand, no? Hindi ka pa yata nagmamigrate nun, no? Baka.
Hindi, Coach. Nag-migrate na. Pero hindi pa kami gano'ng katagal nandun. Yeah.
Oo. Baka a few months. Coach Manu, ito bang Manu nito? Ito ba'y Emmanuel?
Yes, Coach. Short for Emmanuel.
Yeah, Emmanuel.
Yung Emmanuel is the given name sa akin ng mami ko nung pinanganak ako. Sabi niya kasi, she always tells me this story na if mapabless siya ng son, she would name it Emmanuel. So, yun yung nangyari. So, yun yung pangalan ko. Kaya blessing.
Emmanuel, Christ is in us.
Yes, tama, Coach. Yes.
God is with us, di ba? And Coach Manu, paano ba nag-umpisa tong story mo, no? Alam mo si Manu, hindi naman siya talagang laking Metro Manila, but when I met him, I remember he told me this story, no? He was still in high school. I think I was an assistant coach sa UP men's basketball.
Yes, Coach.
With Coach Jolly pa. And I remember si Manu, bata pa. He approached us, he approached Coach Jolly pa, and then he introduced himself, no, as this kid who loves basketball and one day would want to play for the UP Fighting Maroons. Coach Manu, saan ba nag-umpisa yung iyong humble beginnings?
Sa UP Los Baños, Coach. Kasi si Mami was a university professor. Tapos yung father ko din worked in sa Erie and all that. So, growing up, siguro, like anyone that grew up sa UP, either sa UP Manila ka, UP Diliman, UP LB, parang naka-align ka mag UP. So, wala ka talagang choice but to follow the footsteps nung family mo. And we always held UP to a high standard kasi nga yun din yung kumbaga nakalakihan namin. So most of my relatives lahat sa UP. And so ako lang actually yung hindi natuloy. But and then growing up, we were also based sa US for a while kasi si Mommy had some studies there and had some trips. But somewhere along those lines, meron laging basketball na hindi naman mawawala kasi I think apart from my first sport na soccer and yung football, na American football, parang mas nahila ako towards basketball. Siguro kasi yung mga relationships and yung mga friends na nakilala ko while growing up playing basketball, yun yung mas nag-stick sa akin kaysa dun sa iba. So like any other Pinoy kid, obviously, you just pursue basketball and see how far you can go.
Alam mo yung mga kaagapay, no? Si Coach Manu, mahilig siya sa American football, no? Ito yung bolang, ano bang shape nito? How do you describe the shape of an American football? Hindi ko alam tuloy, no?
Hindi ko parang arrowhead.
Oo, tapos binabato, tapos sinasalo, pero grabe yung banggaan. Wala namang American football dito, no, na sport sa Pilipinas. Meron bahagyang-bahagya, kaunting-kaunti, mabibilang mo sa iyong 10 daliri kung ilan lang yung naglalaro. And eventually si Coach Manu gravitated towards basketball. Coach Manu, I remember this story when we were part of this coaching staff. Si Coach Manu, naging kaibigan niya or nakasama niya yung ibang sumikat na NBA player, no? They are still in the NBA because si Coach Manu was given this opportunity to be part of the UCLA strength and conditioning coach, and doon na-meet niya, I think 2 or 3 players na may pangalan, sumikat, at we can consider superstars. Can you tell us what happened during that time?
Going to 2008, coach, I was in the US. Then I was just giving a very big blessing and a great opportunity to be part of the support staff ng UCLA football and basketball. But, being a basketball coach and player, mas pumupunta ako sa basketball kasi mas madali. Kumbaga, it's you know your way around the sport better. And so when I got there, si Kevin Love and si Russell Westbrook was there. It was their rookie year for both of them. Kasi one and done lang yung dalawa na yun eh. So we had to make sure that they were looked after, from head to foot, their diet and their basketball specific workouts, their strength and conditioning for the season. And then eventually we had a good relationship over the a little over a year nandun sila. Siguro ang biggest takeaway ko doon is hindi madali pumasok sa NBA. It's preparations over and over again, repetitions daily. Yung commitment nila sa excellence and sa oras. Grabe kasi 5 in the morning, minsan nauuna sila sa gym. Minsan sila pa yung kakatok sa akin para get to the gym and get their workouts in between classes. We'll get in the gym and put up shots or lift, and then quick recovery, tas team training, and then after team training, do some more. So it was quite an experience kasi to see them still playing at the highest levels of NBA is very awesome kasi lampas na ng 10 years yun eh. Nasa NBA sila. So really happy that I had that part of my life to experience it, and being able to share that with with 2 of the best actually best players sa UCLA. I think madami naman best players dun, pero yung sa time namin nandun ako, silang dalawa. And then obviously later on dumating na sila Zach LaVine, sila Kyle Anderson. Medyo ibang level na yun kasi athletically gifted na sila, so hindi sila katulad nila Kevin Love who had a lot of weight on his body that he had to turn into muscle. So it was very good experience and probably one of the best coaching experiences that I'll ever have. Unless now you get to handle another NBA player in the future. Yeah.
Alam mo, Coach Manu, no? 2 NBA players, binanggit mo. Kevin Love. Si Kevin Love, Olympian yan eh. Di ba? And the reason why they took him in, because una, malakas ang katawan, tapos may shooting pa.
Yeah, may shooting na big one.
Yung kanyang basketball IQ. No? Yeah. Si Russell Westbrook, hindi ako sure kung kung naging Olympian. But
Nag-Team USA na yata siya.
Nag-Team USA. So, imagine that these 2 superstars. Alam ko 2008 sila, no? Kasi they went to the Final Four during that time. And
Memphis.
Si Kevin Love is the only player sa NBA na pag kumuha ng rebound, ang kanyang long pass is a chest pass. Yung kanyang chest pass is so strong and so long na ang iba, instead of yung ordinary, hindi kasi ordinary, extraordinary chest pass, yung iba baseball pass, no? Pero sa kanya, dahil ang lakas ng katawan, so he can do it. And there were others who saw na baka naman aksidente lang yan. Yung pala nakita nila, wow, Kevin Love was just doing those baseline to baseline
na
chest pass.
Yeah.
Coach, Coach, ano yung nagustuhan mo dun sa dalawa? Kaya umabot sila sa NBA. Kasi may marami tayong mga magulang na nakikinig and may mga bata rin na nakikinig na maybe they would want to be extraordinary rin, no? So, ano ang pwede nilang gawin na o gayahin, ma-emulate dito sa dalawang ito?
Siguro yung number one coach, yung common denominator ng dalawa na narinig ko over the years that they were there was just their goal of actually hindi nga NBA. So their goal of becoming a professional basketball player. And then where they end up, it's just already a bonus dun sa goal nila na yun. So obviously they were talking about the NBA, but most of the time they were just, my goal is to become a pro player. And so day in, day out, yung work ethic ng dalawa was just off the charts. Sige, Kevin Love would really be in the gym almost every day, working on not only his strength but also injury prevention. And then yung mga weaknesses niya na nung dumating kasi siya doon, yung inside game kasi niya medyo hindi pa polished eh. So he worked a lot on that. And then yung obviously nung nag-evolve na yung game, he would come back over the summer sa UCLA and work out yung mid-range niya na, yung gumagamit na siya ng handoff, sa mga execution niya doon na para maka-atake siya, para maka-create siya sa sarili niya, sa teammates niya. Yun, and then si Russell Westbrook naman, ano talaga coach eh, freak talaga eh. Grabe yung athleticism eh. Kaya he could get away with a lot of things. So yung quickness, but common denominator was their goal. They did not, and then they had bits and pieces that they added to that process na ginawa nila na in the gym, putting up shots, and they were always working on yung weaknesses nila. Si Westbrook medyo mas mabagal yung development with his outside game kasi he really relied a lot on his athleticism. But in saying that, they really put in a lot of work over the year to get to be one and done. And then lalo na dun sa Final Four, ang lakas ng kalaban natin yung Memphis, Derrick Rose. So yung isa pa yung sa Kansas, tapos yung sumunod yung sa Florida, sila Al Horford, sila Joakim. So, grabe yung bugbugan ng generation na yun. And being exposed to that, makita mo yung mga players that came through yung sa UCLA na yun, and sa Final Four experience was just different kasi then you see them nasa NBA na, so it's just different what they really made sure that they were pro ready, and even in the off season they would come back and put in the work just to make sure na they work on a new skill every year, para magkakaroon ng depth yung game nila. So yung and hindi sila, kung ang magaling na sila sa isang bagay, hindi sila nakafocus doon kasi minsan nakikita ko ganun yung ibang bata na ito lang yung komportable ako, ito lang yung gagawin ko, which is hindi nadadagdagan yung skill set. So yun siguro yung nakita ko sa kanila.
Coach Manu, binanggit mo, no? Work ethic, no? And because of that work ethic, they also worked on their weaknesses, di ba? Alam nila na ito yung pagkukulang ko, or they might see na average lang ako dito eh. I want to be above average when it comes to outside shooting.
Yeah.
I want to become better with my ball handling. Hindi sila nakontento, no?
Siguro coach, lagi ko narinig sa kanila na there's a lot of younger guys coming in. So we have to make sure that we're able to keep up. Yun yung lagi ko narinig sa kanila. Dati. So.
Alam mo, Coach Manu, 2008. Ngayon 2025. So
yes,
almost 17 years na sila, no? And there are no spring chicken.
Mm.
But
Mm.
just like si LeBron James,
Mm.
sikreto nila is work ethic.
Mhm.
Tapos they work so hard, they train so hard, and then they eat the right kinds of food,
Mhm.
and then yung sleep or yung rest,
Mhm.
no? Ibig sabihin, alagang-alaga yung
Mhm.
katawan so that uh, every year they get a chance to play again. Dahil
Yes, tama
every
coach.
year nga, no, may
Mm.
drafting, may bagong players. But
Mm.
because of the competition,
Mm.
the best of the
Yeah,
best ang
tama coach.
NBA.
Oo. Kaya yun nga yung naalala ko yung sinasabi ng doctor namin sa Tall Blacks. Sabi niya na even if, you put in a lot of work, sleep is still the best medicine para lahat ng trinabaho mo. Kasi magre-recharge yung katawan mo eh. So, dun lalabas um, yung lakas mo or when your recovery. So, ano talaga, hindi mo mapagpapalit din yung ngayon. Kasi scientifically, ang dami mo nang pwedeng gawin sa katawan mo while doing for lack of a better terms, yung manual work dun sa gym and all of that. Compared dun sa mga maybe play time nila Michael Jordan, yung gano'n, mas marami ng technology. But I think for them, so 17 years na eh, so madami nang sila nadaanan na kung ano-ano sa technology in terms of their preserving their bodies. But I think nothing beats yung or walang substitute yung sa court ka, tinatrabaho mo yung skill mo, yung jump shot mo, yung lahat yan. Kasi science will, para dun naman sa other things yun, pero yung trabaho mo sa court, medyo rare yan na magbabago constantly. So, yun talaga yung kailangan mong tatrabahuin yung skills mo eh. So,
Ano pa naman, no? Basketball is not only a game of height,
mm,
it is a game of speed and quickness. Also na dapat skillful ka in
mm,
everything, no? Hindi pwedeng mahina ka mag-dribble sa kaliwa
mm,
kasi
mm.
kanan ka. Dapat
Mm.
left and right. Hindi
Yes.
lang dapat magaling kang lumayap ng kanan
Ah,
kasi malalaman nila sa scouting report na
mm,
this person panay kanan. So
tama coach.
they will bring you towards the left.
Mm,
Or
mm,
itong player na ito ano lang ang shooting niya pagdating ng more than 17 feet suspect.
mm,
So
yeah,
so magtataka ka na bakit
tama.
ka laging libre? Kaya ka
Mm.
naman laging libre kasi yung
Kasi wala kang pukul.
ikaw ang gustong pasyutin kasi
Yeah,
based on
tama.
their statistics and all their
Mm.
metrics, wala kang shooting. It's better that a player without a
Threat
high
na, yeah.
percentage shot
Mm.
kaysa dun sa mga magagaling, no? And
Tama. Tsaka siguro ko, sorry, yung kailangan din nila mag-adapt sa, ngayon kasi medyo ang dami ng complexity sa structure ng basketball sa paglalaro. Your offense and then your defense, siyempre, the schemes that you have to put in. So, yun din yung kailangan i-adapt ng player. So, katulad nung panahon ni Ben Howland, medyo strategic siya na conservative pero very aggressive yung pensa niya. Kaya from that, and then you go into the NBA na medyo may free ball ka pero but you still have the complexities of structure. So yung IQ has to also be there. I think it's just a complete package ng mga ganun sa player sa mataas na level.
Coach Manu, mga pinag-usapan natin, no? NBA level. Pero kung bababa tayo sa
Mhm.
high school level, no?
Mhm.
Sa'yo, being a coach, no? What makes a good basketball player? Ano yung hinahanap ng coach sa isang player given na yung skill na marunong ka mag-basketball?
Tama.
Ano pa yung mga values na hinahanap mo or characteristics ng isang player na gusto mo?
Siguro yung una-una sa akin, coach, lagi is having the right attitude towards everything na ginagawa namin sa court. Hindi yung bad attitude. It's just having the right attitude towards, playing defense, playing in structure and kung ano yung values ng team and medyo kasi madaming players dyan na I'm probably the best, so I have to get all the ball yung mga ganyan. So it's always for me, I look at yung having the right attitude towards the things that we do. And obviously, kasama na dyan yung work ethic, lalong-lalo na. Kasi ako, pag-recruit ako din sa high school team namin dati, so it's always the first thing that what do you want to get out of this sport? What's your goal? So I always have to make sure na medyo naka-align kami dun sa gusto niya. Tapos tinatanong ko rin kung ano expectations niya sa akin para at least may accountability ako sa kanya, tapos may accountability din siya sa mga assistant coaches ko and sa bawat isa. So it's mostly having the right attitude. But minsan hindi madali. And I think that's part of the joys of coaching is the challenges of being able to steer their attitude towards how it should be. And I believe kasi na when you coach, you have to look after, you have to be a mentor, you have to be available almost anytime sa players mo and sa assistant coaches, you have to look after everybody. Ako kasi gusto ko na kung may kailangan yung assistant coach ko, I'm available for them. Yung players ko, I'm available for them. And it's mostly, I try and hindi lang sa court, pati sa labas para it's a better relationship for us. Kaya yung the relationships that I hold very close yung mga players ko that have moved on, lalong from the Tall Blacks and sa high school team namin sa New Zealand. We remain very close. That's because of the experiences and the ups and downs that we had to go through. And yun yung mga one of the things that I really make sure that I continue to do para successful din yung team. So,
So, binanggit mo, Coach Mano, no? Ang gusto mo sa isang player is yung right attitude, no? And there's this saying that it is your attitude, not your aptitude, that will determine your altitude, no? And, di ba? Attitude kasi mahirap ang player ay selfish, no? Makasarili, no? Or headache to the coach. And binanggit mo na as a coach, you want to build relationships with your players. And it's hard to build relationships with a player kung matigas ang ulo, selfish, di ba, knucklehead. Tapos hindi rin siya makakabuild ng relationships with his teammates. No?
Yeah.
And Coach Manu, no, from UP, let's talk about your days being with the coaching staff of UP, no? And si Coach Manu was able to coach si Kobe Paras, no? You were
CDL brothers, sila Richie. Yeah.
Oh, si Richie, ano pinili?
Rivero.
Oh, tama, no? Richie Rivero na nasa PBA na, no? And can you walk us through? Kasi you were there in 2018, the first time that UP played in the championships again, no, sa UAAP. Since 1996, 2018 pumasok ulit yung UP. And team na yon was composed of ragtag players. Hindi lahat superstars, but they were whipped into a cohesive fighting team, no? Coach, sino ba, wala pa si Kobe Paras noon, sino yung mga players mo during that time? And paano kayo umabot sa championship?
Sabi ko nga, Coach, kung nakapag-coach ka na sa UP, magsusurvive ka kahit mga pinagdaanan natin lahat ng grabe. But you know, it's one thing that I always look back every season, yung mga naging sitwasyon sa UP para maalala ko yung pinanggalingan ko rin. Ang number one talaga na nag-ano si Paul Desiderio. Siya yung difference maker nung season na yon. He took the role na leadership. Saka yung personality kasi nung team na yun, magkakaiba eh. So, nandyan yung GDL Brothers, nandyan si Jun Manso, nandyan si Janjan Abuneta, nandyan si Bright. So, very, magkakaiba sila ng personalities. But somehow, hindi lang si Paul, but sila din yung nag-adjust with each other na being able to play with each other and make sure na at least may ma-achieve din. And I think they also knew some of the guys there then knew what the roles that they had to play. And I think yun yata yung nag-work talaga. And obviously, si Coach Bo was very driven and he made sure na lahat ng kailangan ng staff niya, ako, obviously si late Coach Ricky, si Coach Ronnie Magsano, yung mga tumulong talaga mabuhin sila. So, it was a good challenge and probably yun nga yung sasabihin ko na yung panalo ng against Adamson nung Final Four, siguro as an assistant coach yun pa rin yung pinaka-highlight ko eh. Kasi ano yun eh, sabi ko nga patay na. Nabuhay pa. Tapos lahat kami dun sa bench may lagnat na kasi the stress for the past few games. So looking back, it was really not just by one person. It was just everybody from the staff, from the players, and sa physio, and sa management. They were able to, minsan hindi ko na rin ma-explain kung ano talagang nagawa, but we're just on the same page to achieve yung ano. Obviously, we came up short dun sa finals against Ateneo, pero I think mas importante what followed after that and what we were able to start and what the team was able to start for the community. And kasi yun na yung piece nag-improve na. And really happy to see that they're doing well and silently still following them.
Mhm. Alam mo, Coach Manu, no, it takes a village, no, to
Yeah, tama ko.
make a team, no. Hindi
Yeah.
hindi lang isa, dalawa, tatlo, apat, kasama yung coaching staff, kasama yung strength and conditioning coaches, kasama yung mga donors and supporters, kasama yung mga fans. Gusto ko yung binanggit mo regarding that yung UP kasi had to play Adamson twice to beat ang
Twice to
Adamson.
beat.
So, tapos, talo na, binanggit ni Coach Manu, nabuhay pa. Feeling ko it's like raising Lazarus from the dead. Oo, kasi yung reaction na nadidinig ko sa mga nakausap ko, talagang hindi na raw kaya ng puso nila yung basketball game na yun. Tapos nanalo pa, no? But it is because of that and because of that, no, yung it started yung UP Maroons started winning, from that, no, from that point, nagkaroon na ng winning tradition, no. Hindi na siya
Parang tayo, Coach.
bottom four, but top four, no, top four.
Top four na, yes.
Tuloy-tuloy na yun. And Coach Manu, no, you were also part of a PBA team. And
Yes, Coach.
ano yung difference ng PBA team? Alam natin, syempre, mas malalakas ang players, mas magagaling. But dealing with these professional players, anong difference as compared to amateur players?
Yung sa amateur players, Coach, mas they're hungrier to get out of the amateur ranks and get to the PBA or get to the pro league kasi obviously it's a financial thing para dun sa mga players and a lot of them, well, yung sa experience ko, sila yung mga kailangan magbuhay sa pamilya and so they really put in work para they get noticed and then hopefully get drafted sa PBA. Sa PBA naman, yung ibang players na nahawakan namin, made na. Merong mga rookie, merong mga second year, mga third year players. Ano talaga, it's a level of they just get there, do the work, and then we're done, and then we can come back. So it's more of a working relationship rather than, obviously we also create relationships with them, but it's mostly like I get here, maglalaro ako, going to do this, but I'm going to listen to my coach. This is how we're going to play. And coach, alam mo naman kung paano si Coach Ricky, di ba? So he runs a very tight ship, and I had to always have his back dun sa mga ginagawa niya, and he's very organized with the team. And first few games we really struggled, but nung bumalik na, yun na yung mabawi na kami. We started winning games. But teaching wise, you still have to teach the game kasi lalong-lalo na yung pag nagsaset ka ng ibang structure from the previous coach. And then obviously you have to scout, do schemes, put in your offense. And so there was the workload siguro would be a bit lighter. Kasi yung iba mas polished na yung players, yung iba not so polished. So but in terms of teaching, mas maraming teaching na nangyayari sa UAAP nun. Kasi obviously you have to be at a level where you have to be a step ahead of the other teams. Lalo ni Ateneo nun, yung kay Coach Tab na system. So there was a lot of teaching compared to sa PBA where you still have to teach, but sometimes it just runs by itself. Compared sa kahit dun sa mga ibang pro teams na I was been involved. No?
Coach Manu, no? Sa yung mga college players gutom dahil ang goal nila is to reach the professionals, no? Hindi lahat aabot sa pro kasi konti lang talaga yung teams sa PBA, no? Ngayon may MPBL na. But if we're talking about the best of the best, no? So if there are 10 teams or 12 teams, times 15 mo lang o times 14.
Yes,
so
coach.
malalaman mo kung 10 teams, there are only 140 players. Sa pro naman, talagang siya, professional sila. Trabaho yan, no? Gagawin nila, and then, syempre, they would want to win kasi bawat panalo dyan,
may bonus.
May bonus, no? It's all about the money.
Yeah.
Wala nang itatago ang pro. It's all about the money.
Yeah.
And Coach Manu, you've seen different coaches, no? Ano sa paningin mo ang mga kailangan or essentials for a person to become a good coach? Or ano yung mga katangian na nakita mo sa mga magagaling na coach?
I think yung first nakita ko talaga, coach, is yung caring about everybody on the team. First and foremost, you have to care about your assistant coaches, your players, your team staff, your PT, and then you have to make sure that you put others first dun sa team, para they see that you do not put yourself at a pedestal dahil head coach ka ng isang team, ganyan. Some of the coaches na nakasama ko over the years, madaming ganon na they're very down to earth, and they don't look down kasi head coach ako dapat dyan lang kayo. So they identify with everyone. Hindi ka egocentric siguro for lack of a better term, but it's always and being humble regardless na kung ano yung ma-achieve mo. It's a hard word to keep as a person, pero kasi meron din na madami na nanalo, madami sinasabi, pero humble pa rin. Meron naman tahimik na nanalo, pero humble pa rin. So I think it's learning to put others ahead of you, especially your team, so that you know what their needs are, and then you build from that so that they know that genuinely you care for them. Kasi ako, coach, sinasabi ko din na pag nagkakamali sa akong player, obviously, you have to call them out na pagsabihan mo. Hindi ko sila pinapagalitan dahil I attack them personally, but I have to correct them because it's a basketball mistake. That's it. Hindi yun dahil sa pagkatao nila or anything like that. Just para clear sa kanila yung kung ano nangyayari. So yun, coach, really knowing how to put others ahead of yourself and knowing what caring for your staff and everyone.
Alam mo, Coach Manu, parang ano yan eh, di ba, binanggit ni Jesus yun eh, na
Mm,
yung greatest commandment, no, that you would love the Lord first, no,
mm,
and then
mm,
loving others.
mm,
Loving others to the point na you are going to look at their interest first, no? Ano yung kasi hindi ikaw, no? How can you become a better servant, no? Bali, it is
mm,
all about servanthood, no? Kunyari,
mm,
head coach,
mm,
siyempre, alam mo, pag sinabing coach, no?
mm,
Sa mataas na posisyon, pero hindi, bumababa sila caring for, especially
mm,
yung mga support staff, yung mga
mm, mm,
nagbibigay ng tubig or yung
mm,
sinasabing water boy, yung mga
mm,
nagmamasahe,
mm.
yung in charge ng mga uniforms. Di ba?
Tama, Coach. Yeah.
Hindi yung pagkatapos mong gamitin yung uniform, itatapon mo
Mm,
basta-basta dahil may mga support staff na who would get the uniform
mm,
and then have it washed, no? Para
mm,
the following day, ready sila, no? And coach, caring for others, uh, hindi siya natural eh. Hindi siya natural na I think you have to make it a habit, no? Or
Tama, Coach.
make sure that it becomes a habit and then maging of your attitude.
Mm,
May mga nakita ka ba, coach, na coaches na feeling mo they could become better coaches, lalo na kung pumunta sila, dinagdagan nila ng gantong aspeto, loving and caring for others.
Madami, Coach eh. Madami. Sa Philippines, sa US, kahit sa New Zealand. Madami. And I feel like kung they would add that aspect, they would go a longer, mas mahaba yung pupuntahan nila, mas malayo. Ako kasi para kung magawa yun, iniisip ko lagi yung mga coaches na nag-invest sa akin. So, ganun yung mga nakita ko na coaches na nadaanan ko. They were always very caring for the team and everyone. So, naturally, nung nag-coach na ako, sabi, teka, ito yata yung nag-work para sa akin. So, pag hindi, i-adjust ko na lang. So, ganun lang yung as I went to and learned what can be done, what doesn't work, and what works. Pero yun yung sa akin always, I try and make sure na yun yung sa uh, foundations ng philosophies ko. Kasi, and I always tell my players nga na you have to care not just for everyone dun sa team, but also with what we do, on the court. Kasi we just go through the motions pagdating ng laro. Hindi gagana yun kung hindi mo talaga isa sa puso yung kailangan gawin. So yun yung lagi kong iniisip. The coaches that have invested their care and their time and their kasi they could have gone somewhere else, they help somebody else, pero sa akin sila nag-invest na ganun. So it's I have to make sure na gawin ko din yung ginawa nila sa akin.
Mm-mm. Alam mo, kung may coach na nagmahal sa iyo, no? Nag-invest sa iyo, tinuruan ka, and mapapadali lahat yung pagiging coach mo, no? Kasi
Mm,
kung ikaw lang on your own, no, you want to become a
mm,
better coach, kung walang magme-mentor sa iyo, no?
mm.
Walang mag-disciple sa iyo, no? Mahirap.
Mahirap, coach.
Siguro times 2, times 3 yung effort, pati yung
Mm,
oras. Kasi
mm.
kung walang input, walang output.
Wala. Output. Tama, coach. Yes.
Mm.
I agree
And
with that.
that's true, no? And Coach Manu, tell us about, kasi you were part of itong Tall Blacks, no? The
Yes, coach.
New
Yeah.
Zealand men's basketball team na
Mm,
naglalaro sa FIBA. Si Coach
mm,
Manu, nakita ko sa TV, no? When the
mm,
Philippines nung naglaro sila, no, dumayo yung New Zealand dito, si Coach Manu was part of the coaching staff ni itong
mm.
New Zealand
Blacks with
All
them.
Blacks ba ang tawag?
Yes, coach. Tall Blacks.
Tell us
Opo.
about your journey with them.
Um, nag-start ako doon, coach, dun sa junior program, sa age group teams. Mostly, it was talent identification. And then went up the ranks. Sa New Zealand kasi, very common yung isa lang yung tinatakbo ng teams eh. And so, yung kung ano yung tinatakbo ng senior men's pagdating sa 16 under, isa lang lahat yan. It's what they call it's the national style of play. Para pag natuto yung player, dire-diretso, isa lang yung tinatakbo. Noong una, medyo humbling. Kasi, syempre, it's a whole different ball game yung FIBA. And then, you scout outside the country. And so, you have to make sure na yung knowledge mo, lalong-lalo yung mga Koreano, yung mga Chinese, yung Japan. Kaya nung nandun ako, naalala ko lagi sinasabi ni Coach Jolie pa na ang pinakamahirap na kalaban yung mga Koreano. So, pag sila yung matatapat namin, talagang lahat ng pwede kong makuha, i-prep namin. So, but siguro yung biggest learning ko doon was just how to develop yung players. Kasi ang bilis na change over ng players doon. Kasi nung time na unang-unang kong taon, last year na nila Kirk Penny, yung mga mainstay sila doon na mga medyo on their last legs na with the Tall Blacks. And nakita ko yung ano it's mostly there was a lot of pride playing for that team, and you could really feel the culture ng team na kahit bago ka doon, welcome ka nila, and anywhere they go, they're really proud na member sila ng Tall Blacks and you're part of the Tall Blacks. It's something that it's not an opportunity that's given to everyone, but once you're in, you're in for a very good ride, and so madaming learnings, especially sa X's and O's, going through different coaches. Kaya medyo yung notepad mo medyo mapupuno na mabilis. And it's a very good thing for me to do that kasi nasi-share ko siya dun sa mga Pinoy sa New Zealand na para masanay din sila maglaro ng ibang style na kung ano yung nandun sa country. So, and we obviously a lot of good relationships with the coaches, mga players. And so it's one thing that I really miss doing, but we stay in touch with everyone. And kahit nga yung mga coaches ngayon, we still talk and just talk about the different memories that we have. It was a very good experience. I really felt really blessed to be part of it. So.
Coach Manu, there's a time for everything, no? Yung time of being a high school player sa UP Los Baños. Ang tawag, anong tawag sa high school? UP Rural?
Coach, pero sa ibang school po ako nag-aaral, sa CSI. Iba yun sa, yes.
CSI. So
yes, kalaban namin UP Rural. Yeah.
From high school, and then you were able to go to the US dahil kasama mo yung mother mo habang nag-aaral. And then you were part of a support staff that you were able to train pro players, no? And then collegiate players during that time, si Russell Westbrook and si Kevin Love. And then bumalik ka ulit sa UP, no? And had this wonderful run na umabot kayo sa championship, no? With wonderful players, Paul Desiderio, tapos si Deleano, ano first name?
Si Javi, tsaka si Juan.
Javi, no? Freshman, no? And then, umabot sa PBA and then was part of this New Zealand, no? National team, the Tall Blacks. Right now, you have your own basketball club, no? Itong tinatawag na Pinoy Mavs Basketball Club. Ano ang ginagawa mo dito?
I've actually been with the Pinoy Mavs siguro was mga 10 years na. I think noong 2015, late before 2014, na-meet ko yung founders kasi they wanted to upgrade yung training ng mga Pinoy na bata. And so I came on board. Dati parang weekend training lang kami just to refine yung skills ng mga Pinoy kids there para in hopes na makahanap kami ng place for them dun sa mga teams sa New Zealand kasi mga Pinoy maliliit, they get overlooked. So, tinatrabaho talaga na kailangan. Mahusay kayong gwardya para may lugar kayo din sa mga team. So, parang yun yung naging forte namin. And then it suddenly grew. And now we started taking teams to Manila and then slowly may mga nare-recruit na. So we've slowly shifted from that to creating pathways para sa mga bata to pursue not just basketball but other sports um, sa New Zealand and dito sa Philippines. And we're trying to continue that for the next few years. And then kaya yung time ko siguro dito is ginamit siguro ng Diyos para maka-network around the different coaches, build relationships para makatulong kami dun sa mga players na makahanap sila ng opportunities. And then we also, kasi sila, katulad ni Coach Ronnie Magsanok, sila Coach Nash, si Coach Ricky, si Coach Po, we've already had Coach Mo, we've had an experience with them sa New Zealand and nadala namin sila para mag-camp. And so, I think mas fulfilling actually yung sa mga bata kasi you really see the joy in their faces when they experience new things and get to play and we were able to share that. But sometimes you also think about in big leagues, but there's a time for everything. So right now that's our goal, to help more kids dun sa New Zealand para makarating or ma-pursue yung mga goal nila. Which is we also have very good support from their parents, so which is really vital for what we're doing.
Coach Manu, no? Alam mo, mga kaagapay, si Coach Manu, marami ng mga players na mga Filipino, Kiwi ba ang tawag doon? Filipino.
Kiwi Coach, yes.
Okay. Na naglalaro sa UAAP or naglaro sa UAAP. Ilang players na ang nirecruit mga college teams dito sa Philippines and mga ilan na estimate na naglalaro or nakapaglaro na sa UAAP?
Siguro Coach, mga nasa dito over 10 siguro yung mga ngayon hindi ko na nga binibilang kasi masaya na ako basta nasa Pinas na sila. The first one was si Unique Nabo, yung point guard na he played for St. Benilde. So inabot siya ng pandemic, so he wasn't able to fulfill all his eligible years. And then through yung sa works namin din sa camp ni Coach Ronnie and then sa iba naming ginagawa, meron mga nasa PBA. So which is parang hindi naman namin inisip parang nangyari lang. And so it was so it's a very fulfilling thing that we do. And like what you said kanina, Coach, it takes a village. Hindi lang naman kami yung gumagawa, hindi lang kami yung gumawa nun. Kasi meron din mga coaches yun na iba. Meron din mga nagsusupport sa kanila. So, yung mga gaps na kulang din sa mga players, yun lang yung finifill namin para matulungan din namin sila. And we're very happy that it's slowly, and we have a few more kids that are coming over magsasign sa mga schools. So that alone, I think is really very inspiring kasi meron talaga mga bata na gusto talaga mag-pursue ng basketball sa Pinas. So.
Alam mo, Coach Manu, no? Ang nakikita ko sa iyo yung love mo, no? And caring for itong mga players mo na ito yung mga bata na eventually alam mo naman na lahat ng bata ang panaginip nila ay maglaro no sa mataas na liga, UAAP or NCAA sa Philippines, and it is because you felt the love of Christ, no? Sabi nga nila na sa Biblia that the Lord himself died for us while we were sinners, no? And we could love others because Christ loved us first. Coach, do you have a favorite verse na you would want to share sa ating mga nakikinig?
Siguro, Coach, yung one that I have a couple, pero yung nagsistand out kasi lalo na dun sa pundo ng basketball, ang daming, it's very worldly sometimes, and it's the in Colossians 3:23-24. It's whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters, since you know that you receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It is the Lord Christ you are serving. So, yun yung lagi kong iniisip. Kasi if it doesn't work out, hindi plano ng Diyos, okay, pupunta yan. Ganun lang. So, it's, and I always make sure na I have to please God first before anyone else. Kasi siya naman talagang number one na employer ko. So, always waiting for the next appointment. So, ayun. And I think it takes less, it takes away the stress and yung pag-iisip mo ng, kailan ba dadating yung next coaching job? Kailan ba dadating yung So, as a coach kasi, yun yung parang inisip mo lagi eh. Pero, you always just have to wait for the next appointment. So, it's fun while you wait.
Can you say it again? Yun yung gagawin natin verse for the day.
So, Colossians 3:23-24. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It is the Lord Christ you are serving.
Isa lang ang ating pagsisilbihan kasi siya ang nagbibigay sa atin ng probisyon, siya ang nagbibigay sa atin ng buhay. Without Him, apart from Him, we are nothing and we can do nothing. No?
Tama, Coach. Yeah.
Coach Mano, thank you for being our guest. No? Alam mo, for you to tell us your story from crossing from high school to the US, from UP to the tall blocks, such rich basketball experience. So teammates, no, maraming salamat sa inyong mga pakikinig. Ito po si Coach Jojo Villa ng Fellowship of Christian Athletes at inyong napakinggan ang programang Puso at Lakas, Sports sa Pinas sa 702 DZAS, FEBC, Radyo TV, agapay ng Sambayanan, miyembro ng KBP. Kapisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas, magandang Sabado po sa inyong lahat. God bless!
Puso at Lakas, Sports sa Pinas, sa pakikipagtulungan ng Fellowship of Coaches and Athletes at ng Far East Broadcasting Company Philippines.